Happy Tuesday!
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday again. Well, it's
Tuesday.
Groundhog Day
Again.
Welcome, everyone. Francis, welcome in. John. Hello, everyone. Kaylee is having a birthday today, so
Yes.
Everyone give her a birthday shout out if you think of it. She is in the chat. I don't know why she's in the chat, because surely there's better things to be doing on her birthday, but she's chosen to spend it with us. Welcome, everyone. It has been a week, and it's only Tuesday. I don't mean like it's been a week since the last live stream. I mean it's been a week. It's Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. We're going to talk about fun stuff tonight, though. So we have just returned. If you haven't been paying attention to our Instagram, our socials and whatnot, which I'll plug in just a second, we are just returning from a surprise trip that some people knew about and some people didn't know about. We went to Orlando for our anniversary, largely because we had bigger plans that we couldn't make work for a couple of different reasons. And at the very last second, we were like, well, you know what? We're DVC. We have a place to stay. We've got family down there. It wound up being not that expensive a trip, even though we did kind of a lot. So It was super fun. We're going to talk a lot about everything that we did. Hopefully, we're going to be able to cover everything that we didn't do as well. Yeah. Because there's a couple things that we did, but we didn't vlog. Right. So we have some pictures and whatnot. Or just
more details about things we vlogged.
Things that...
This is the extra stuff.
There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. We got a lot of stories to tell. This is going to be very much a storytelling live stream. So before we get into it, socials, The Real Tim and Katie on Instagram and Threads, Tim and Katie on Facebook, and timandkatie.net is our website. It's perpetually out of date. I'm so sorry to the internet. We're working on it, but we're never going to catch up. I just.
It's for, as you say, SEO.
Yes. It exists. It exists to exist. Oh, we got a newbie.
Well,
don't feel bad.
We'll talk to ourselves.
This is not atypical for us. The live streams appeal to a different type of person. Yep. Not everyone tunes into every live stream, and that's totally fine. Plus, some people do watch it later too. If you are one of the people that are watching after the live stream has finished, typically these are our friends on the other side of the world. We appreciate you. We love you. You don't need to be here live. Yep. It's all good.
Yeah,
but thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. We do appreciate it. Okay, so we do have a little bit of theme park news, but it is a relatively light theme park news week. So I will throw that out there. I feel like
there's a lot happening of like small stuff, but nothing.
There's a lot. I will drop the secret news because I feel like it's going to be everywhere in a matter of like hours anyway, but we don't have a slide for it. So I'll get into it, the stuff that we already knew about. So first of all, this is news from overseas. UK park Drayton Manor has just opened a new attraction called Gold Rush, which is a family coaster. And to be honest, I didn't think much of it until I started hearing about the actual ride experience. Apparently there is some variation here where you get on, it's like a mine train. It's like a standard mine train. It's a family coaster, and it goes backwards and forwards. The thing of it is, you don't know which way it's going to go when you get on the ride. which is pretty cool because in that sense, it's kind of like Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios in Florida. Like you get on the ride and it's got a pre-programmed something or other, but you have no idea what that program is. It may go up, it may go down, it may go up and down.
Hopefully it goes up and down, but you don't know how many times.
It may go side to side. No.
Interval.
No,
but this is like, you get on it and you're either going to launch forwards or backwards, right?
Yeah. Well, tire launch, so it's not going to be like a stunning propulsion, but you do wind up going. Your ride experience is different every time, basically.
I think there is we watched at least one rider cam video.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a portion, no matter what, that when you will switch the other way.
You will flip. Yeah.
So I don't know. It looks cool. The theming looks great. I don't know. I couldn't hear if there was like on-ride soundtrack or anything.
There is a little bit. It's also a very well-themed attraction.
Yeah.
It's themed throughout the queue and all of that. Drayton Manor is kind of I wouldn't say it's an unknown park. It's lower on our list of parks to visit in the UK, but it's getting up there. It's got a really well-themed flume. It used to have one of the UK's only remaining stamp coasters. It no longer does.
Right.
But I've heard tell that the previous model of that wasn't the best. And to be perfectly honest, we're going to talk about it later.
We have some thoughts on
we have a better stand-up credit now, so it's going to be hard to beat that. Anyway, Gold Rush. Pretty well received coaster. I think Drayton Manor is going on our list. It's still not at the top, but it's going on our list.
There's a lot in the UK. You could do like a 2-week trip in the UK and not see everything.
We're going to be talking a lot tonight about Disney because we did hit all 4 Disney parks on this trip. But over in Disneyland on the West Coast, they have opened very early the Haunted Mansion Holiday attraction. It's a seasonal overlay. It goes from October, usually September, October time to Christmas. Like it's Haunted Mansion Holiday for almost a third of the year.
Yeah.
Now it's half.
Yeah.
Now it's half the year.
Haunted Mansion typically does go down for a bit so that they can do this overlay, but it's been down for even longer because of the construction going on in the queue and stuff. There's construction
happening around the Haunted Mansion right now, holiday or not, because they're working towards retheming Critter Country, and they use that as an opportunity to kind of expand the queue for the Haunted Mansion, add a gift shop. So they're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the
it's
the clincher.
Clincher.
I don't know what
here's
that's
the
not
kicker.
the word I meant, but yeah. Okay. Here's the bottom line. Haunted Mansion Holiday has opened much earlier than was expected, so that's good news. Here's the bad news. Because of all the construction in the queue, it's operating solely on a virtual queue basis. You have to book it the same way you would book at Walt Disney World.
If you've ever joined, going well,
words
a
are
live
hard.
Stream before
Words
with
are
us,
hard on
you know our feelings on virtual queues. I don't know. I try.
Yeah. Virtual queues are not our favorite thing. They're lottery based. Like you wake up in the morning and you don't know whether or not you're going to be able to get on the ride that day. I would rather just wait in the standard queue for 3 hours. That's what it took.
I understand a little bit in this scenario why if the full queue isn't able to operate, why they don't want the line spilling out into the rivers of America.
Yeah.
So I understand it a little bit more for this, but it does stink. And hopefully people who come all the way just to be able to get to see this, because there are people who do that, they'll get to experience it.
I missed this comment. I don't want to mispronounce the name. I think I'm reading Chris somewhere in that username. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. But headed to Williamsburg and Water Country, USA tomorrow. So that'll be a fun trip.
We love them.
I think he did find us through our Water Country USA
blog. Excellent.
So that was hopefully a good
hope you have a
predecessor to your adventures.
Good a day as we did, because we had a great day that day.
We did. Yeah. So Haunted Mansion Holiday. It's operating. It's open now, but you do have to join the virtual queue. Twice a day are the virtual queue opportunities.
Like
you can do 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. and that's Pacific time. So if you want to do it, and we do want to do it, you got to make a virtual queue arrangement.
Yeah.
Speaking of spooky times, we do have one new house announcement, technically 3 for Hollywood, Halloween Horror Nights. We've had 2 Halloween Horror Nights Orlando announcements, and they're all displayed here. The IP houses typically come to both coasts. Of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is technically an IP, but this is a licensed IP that I guess Universal has only done one or the other coast for.
Yeah.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre came to Orlando in 2021. Now it's going to Hollywood this year. Eternal Bloodlines and Insidious are the two IPs that were licensed for both coasts this year. So in addition to A Quiet Place and Ghostbusters, those are going to be our 4 IP houses. I am stoked for Eternal Bloodlines. If you're unfamiliar, the Universal monsters have been a trending property for Universal ever since they started doing, well, I guess Halloween Horror Nights, but they announced way back when that they were going to be doing Dark Universe at Epic Universe. And ever since, there has been like mounting enthusiasm for Dracula, Frankenstein, Swamp Thing, like all the monsters that are everywhere, the Mummy, all the monsters that are everywhere throughout the Universal mythos. They're all coming like year over year to these houses. And this year's version of that is something that I think is going to play into Epic Universe, which is the girls of the Monsterverse. Because we have not Lisa, I was going to say Lisa Frankenstein. Victoria Frankenstein or whoever she is, that's going to be like a centerpiece of the castle attraction at Epic Universe, is playing into this house.
Right.
It's supposed to be.
Is it Dracula's daughter too?
It's
right?
It's
Victor Frankenstein's daughter.
It's Lady Helsing, and then Amaxunaman from the Mummy,
okay.
and then like it's the female legacies basically.
Okay.
That's the Eternal Bloodlines. Like it's
I'm getting that
Dracula's
conflated
daughter,
with
Frankenstein's niece.
We
like
saw that Abigail movie recently, which is not anything to do with this.
It's
and
not
that's what I
canon.
was getting mixed up with it. That's a good movie though.
It is.
Like vampires.
It's a super good movie. But yeah,
I'm stoked about that too because at the risk of sounding like a fake fan, I've not seen much of the Universal monsters, but I would like to.
we're going to watch them before Epic
We
Universe.
want to try to catch a couple before Epic Universe, but maybe before this too. I mean, I'm familiar. I like monster movies. The third one, I guess, is yes. I know we're talking about things that Francis is not into right now. I suppose is the. This whole slide is probably triggering some people right now.
it's also we know that Frances knows things that she can't say. Sometimes.
Oh, that's true too. She knows things.
Also, Hunter.
Okay. Well,
thanks for letting us know.
No pressure to use real names on the internet or whatnot, but we're happy to know you, Hunter.
Now we know how to call you, Mitch.
So,
welcome in. You just missed Universal. We're moving on.
Well, you didn't talk about Insidious. Did you?
I didn't talk about Insidious. Insidious is also a house.
Yeah.
Insidious Into the Further.
I don't know why. Why does the SI light up?
I don't know.
Because it just makes me think like
C,
as in yes.
Yes.
Anyway.
In yes. I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably supposed.
We're
it's probably supposed to be the red door.
We're assuming. Well, yeah. I mean, we're assuming that the Insidious house is going to be built around the most recent movie, which we have actually not seen, but we're about to see it because it just hit Netflix. So we've seen the other 4. Insidious, going way back when, was a terrifying movie in its original form. It's gotten slightly less terrifying as it goes, but I've heard that the Red Door is pretty good. So
I mean, it's just like watching the Conjuring
John's
series.
back.
Like you're just in it, I guess.
Yeah, so these are our 3. The Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights event is still missing 1 house. Most of the scare zones have been announced as well at this point. We don't have a ton of information about we have the names, but we don't have a ton of information about what's going on in each scare zone, unlike Orlando, which kind of publishes like complete storylines and whatnot. So that's kind of a unique thing about Hollywood, is that like they're a little more, I don't want to say proprietary, but like they keep things under tighter wraps until you get there.
Which I'm fine with because I like to be surprised. I understand though, for other people, the more research they have, the better they feel about it. But
Orlando officially has all of its houses now. I have been making a list as we go. I don't have like a whole slide of all the houses, but if you've been paying attention to the live streams, you'll have heard all the houses. If not, Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Orlando, type it into Google, you'll get it. These are the most recent announcements, and we're pretty stoked about them.
All right. On to the trip.
Oh,
wait. Go back.
The secret.
Oh, oh yeah, the
I almost dove in without mentioning this. Okay, so
The
King's
bonus.
Dominion. King's Dominion, for those who are familiar with the park, it's in Ashland, Virginia, technically Doswell, Virginia, but
yes.
you know. It's right near us, so we keep an eye on things that go in and out of King's Dominion. And for a while, since the Jungle Expedition expansion, they have been talking about adding a coaster. We've known for a long time that was probably going to be a wing coaster, so we're getting closer and closer to the reveal. And then they've been poking at it on Instagram like we're going to do a big reveal on July 31st. Well, someone goofed because a Facebook advertising campaign for the new attraction started one day early. So we have, in very low resolution and with minimal details, the grand reveal of the new attraction. And I honestly, it's a weird name, so I have to like Rapterra. Yeah, that's it.
Like
Rapterra, R-A-P-T-E-R-R-A. Rapterra is going to be, quote, the world's tallest and longest launched wing coaster, coming to King's Dominion in 2025. So that is, there are pictures, but they're in incredibly low resolution, so I did not include them in the presentation. I'm sure we will have all the details tomorrow, but for those of you who are interested in staying ahead of the curve, that's the big secret. Rapterra.
And that's 2025.
2025.
Okay.
It's not going to open this year,
okay.
But it has gone vertical. Construction has already gone vertical, and King's Dominion seems to be pretty proud of it. They're doing the whole churro stand thing, but with flowers.
Yeah.
So, pretty excited about that. It's going to be a fun year next year.
I hope it rides like Phoenix.
I also hope it rides like Phoenix. I hope every coaster rides like Phoenix. Okay, let's dive in. So, our trip report from our 2024 trip to Florida, which we were originally not even going to do.
Yep.
We were planning to stay away from Florida in 2024, and to be perfectly honest, we're not sure we're going back in 2025. We always say that, and we probably will, but I don't think we're going to be doing Epic Universe in its opening year.
I'm teasing the idea of seeing, like, experimenting, like, what would Disney look like while Universal is opening a brand new park? Like, is it going to be...
It's going to be busy.
Is it going to be busy, or is it going to be less busy?
Thing.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Mitch is like, yeah.
Mitch is always surprised when we don't come to Florida. The thing of it is, Florida has a ton of great parks. Epic Universe is going to be amazing. We've all been looking forward to it.
Yep.
There's not a theme park enthusiast out there who's not stoked on the idea of going Epic Universe. But because of that, Epic Universe, even with the crowd control that Universal has already put into play, Epic Universe is going to be at capacity every single day. Every single person who's ever wanted to do something like that is going to be at Epic Universe. And that means that, to your point, Epic Universe's traffic is going to be bursting out into the other theme parks. And that's something that a lot of like theme park predictors have made, is that or predictions have been made, is that a rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah.
Like Disney's going to be swamped. The other Universal parks are going to be swamped. SeaWorld's going to be swamped. So we just kind of like...
But Mitch is making an okay point here. We don't have to go to theme parks in Florida.
No, we don't. But we do love theme parks.
We do.
We have plans.
With you, Mitch.
We have plans. I don't like water. We have plans for 2025, and I think people are going to be pretty excited when they find out what those plans are. They do not currently include Universal Orlando.
That's true.
However, we did go this year.
We didn't go to Universal.
We didn't go to Universal. We did go
Central
to
Florida.
Central Florida this year.
And visited lots of places.
Visited lots of places. So this was kind of a last minute thing. The reason we went, as I mentioned earlier on, is because we had bigger plans that fell through. And at the last second, we realized that we're part of the Disney Vacation Club. If you're unfamiliar, it's a timeshare program. With the Disney Vacation Club, we were able to kind of stay on a Disney property without paying.
Mm-hmm.
Ostensibly, because you put like a ton of money into that at the front end.
You're using
but
your
then
points.
You have a place to stay every year.
We're not cashing out dollar bills for the stay, except for the food and everything. Hello,
welcome in JVH. JVH Adventures also lives in Florida. We did not get to see him on this trip, but we will be seeing him on future trips, I'm sure. So if you're not following him, please do check him out because he's got good content. So let's talk about what we did.
we did a travel vlog.
We did a travel vlog for the first time.
In a
Well, a
while.
road trip vlog.
Yes.
We've done travel vlogs on airplanes
This
and
was
whatnot,
our
and they've
first
usually been like
time-
8 minutes long. But
Yeah.
this was a haul. We did an overnight drive
Mhm.
to Florida from the Baltimore
We
area.
left our place around the 7:00-ish p.m. hour. I don't know
Yep.
why I said it like that. And arrived by like 11:00-ish in Florida.
Yeah, give or
Yeah.
take. And then delayed ourselves by stopping at Target and mopping
Yeah.
up. The thing of driving a car to Florida is that you do have some flexibility.
Yes.
Especially as members of the Disney
We-
Vacation Club, you can park for free at the Disney parks. And because we're Platinum Pass holders at the SeaWorld parks, we could also park for free at SeaWorld.
Having
So,
a car was clutch this trip.
It was.
And some of you may be familiar with what was happening at like airports at the end of like last week.
Yeah, it was nice
Um,
not to have to
And
deal
it was
with that.
really nice not to have to deal with that. So
Hey, Ted and Vanessa are in.
yes, we drove. I know you guys have driven before. My family used to drive to Florida all the time. And we've driven our very first trip down to Florida, we did drive too.
We usually, yeah.
Honestly-
actually, I'm going to reveal a funny thing about the vlog that's coming this Friday, because we are starting a new series, and everything that we're talking about, with the exception of the stuff that we didn't
Missed.
cover, will be covered in the vlog series. But with regard to the travel vlog, I thought it was super funny that we have not driven to Florida since 2020.
Yes.
The vlog is 20 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh, that's coinky dink.
That was just a funny little coincidence that I managed to do completely on accident. So
If this picture isn't obvious, we
We went to
managed to stop
Buc-ee's
at a Buc-ee's location
for the very first
time after seeing a ton of people's Buc-ee vlogs. Pretty sure y'all, 2 tickets, have done one too. So we
JVH
enjoyed
has
that.
even further to go than we do.
No,
Okay.
that's
Although
a little bit for not
It depends
too
where
much.
you're coming from in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because
Like,
we're
if
pretty
you're-
close to PA. But
But
if you're
I'm-
coming from like North
I'm
Pennsylvania,
pretty sure, and I don't want to out him if he doesn't want people to know, but I'm pretty sure that you're closer to Hershey Park than to other areas of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Correct. So, and I
that
can make that more
probably
specific, but I didn't
adds
want
like
to.
an hour to 2 hours to your trip, depending.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hit Buc-ee's, and this is the clutch thing. Hit if you can, hit a Buc-ee's at like 2-3 a.m. guys.
3 o'clock in the morning.
It's glorious.
So here's what we did. We left at 7. We drove. We stopped in I think our first official stop was in Virginia for a bathroom. But
Yeah.
like beyond that, we didn't really make any stops until North Carolina when we needed to get gas. And by the time we actually did make it to Buc-ee's, we went to the Florence, South Carolina location, which, by the way, is the easiest location ever to get in and out of because it is right off the highway.
yeah, the Florence
right
one's
off
great.
the highway. So it literally had its own exit. So it was super easy to get off 95, and because we hit it at 3 in the morning, it was empty.
Yeah.
And I talk in the vlog about how busy it is, but that's like because my eyes are like, how many
No,
people can
it's-
possibly be awake at 3 o'clock in the
It's
morning?
just
There
weird.
were quite a few people awake at 3 o'clock in the morning and there at Buc-ee's. But then going to another Buc-ee's
Buc-ee's.
at 8 a.m.,
No,
holy cow.
no,
That's a whole different thing.
no. That was like trying to go to like.
Okay. That's what,
Okay.
I
So
didn't
we
want
were-
to. I was going to say Lancaster, but I didn't want to get that specific. But if you're comfortable getting that specific, yeah. So tell us how long it is to get from Lancaster to Orlando if you're doing
Orlando-ish.
that drive, because I am genuinely curious. That's a bit further north than we are, even.
Yeah. But no, we were.
see how the party rallies.
Again, we'll talk to no one though. So it's fine. But yeah, it was great. We did vlog Buc-ee's, so
We did.
we won't give away everything. But yeah, 3 a.m. Buc-ee's was great. The funny story is we did hit both we hit the Florence one, which was this one.
Yeah,
We
and
hit
we
the-
only vlogged the Florence
Yeah.
one, but we hit 3
We hit
different
St.
Buc-ee's
Augustine a
on
few
this
hours
trip.
later because we were like, oh, we need gas again. Let's go to Buc-ee's. And we were like, nope, never again at 8 a.m. That was a horrible idea. And then on the way home, we were like, well, let's just try the Daytona Beach one because
Because it's there.
it's there.
and because we
and
were
the ba-
hungry.
And the bathrooms are nice, people. If
Yeah.
you're looking for a decent bathroom that's clean, they're reliable nice bathrooms. So if you sometimes see like posters like you can hold it. If you can hold it, do a Buc-ee's. They're great for the bathrooms. The staff were so nice.
Wow, that's the same general amount of time.
Yeah, I said it was 2 hours more probably.
Yeah, but is that with because it took us 16 to 17 hours with stops?
We're 14 hours no stops.
Okay, so Mitch is saying no stops, 16 hours, right? Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong. 16 hours no stops.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we don't stop at all, it's like 14 and a half.
Anyway, yes, the employees are super nice.
Yeah.
When you walk in, they do say welcome to Buc-ee's. Like every single 3 o'clock in the morning, these poor employees are like, welcome to Buc-ee's.
No, they had a lot of energy. It was throwing me off because I'm like, it's 3 a.m. and it's so bright in here and you guys are acting like it's 12 noon. And yeah, we were looking for pins and someone like personally walked us over to the pin section because we couldn't find it because this place is huge.
Yeah,
it's like a
big
Cracker Barrel country store, but like it's 4 times the size.
Yeah, it honestly reminded me more of a grocery store than a gas station. Like it has grocery aisles, it has home good aisles, and then it has like a deli counter and a taco counter.
A large
grocery store.
I don't know, grocery store. I would say more like convenience store. But like way more than gas station though.
Do you want to talk about the beaver nugs? Because we didn't cover the beaver nugs in our vlog.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, we did get a bag of regular beaver nugs, which I liked. They kind of reminded
mixed opinions.
Yeah, Tim ate them because they were there.
I was expecting something a little bit different. No one's described the flavor to me until I tried it for myself.
You were expecting something more savory, right?
Yeah, I was expecting. I don't know. If you call something a nugget, my brain goes like corn dog nugget or chicken nugget.
You thought it was going to be protein for some reason.
And it was like straight carb. It was, I mean, I think you described it, and I agree if this is how you describe it and I'm remembering correctly, like inflated corn pops.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what they taste like.
It's like having
which I don't hate that,
cereal,
but I don't want to eat that like a whole bag of that.
It's like corn puff cereal mixed with like not caramel, like kettle corn. Like the kettle corn kind of sweet glaze.
Yeah.
They're good though. There were other like flavors. We didn't try any of the other
flavors.
Yeah, it's
true. They say cinnamon is the best flavor. We didn't try. We just tried the standard.
I liked the kind of
standard issue.
Sweet, crunchy nugs.
I will say we stopped going and coming to Florida at a Buc-ee's. We did not get the beaver nuggets twice. I think you would have eaten another bag, but
the thing is I would have eaten another bag, and I
wouldn't have helped much.
After this trip, I was like, I need to make some changes, y'all.
So
that is a loaded question.
I know there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into some of that.
Yeah.
Because we did. There's very mid food and there's bad food.
Yeah.
And then there's actually excellent food.
Yeah.
And it varies widely by where you go and what you do.
And what you like and what your
And we had all three. Like we had all three throughout the trip. I would say because we've been to Disney so many times and we know where to go, like it was easy to find good food in Disney World. It was harder to find good food at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Which we will get to.
Yeah.
So after driving being awake for 36 hours, driving for a while, a lot of them, a big chunk. We stayed at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yep.
We did not do a resort tour this time around because we've done it before and it's tough to improve on something that you feel like you've done thoroughly. Whether or not it's good, I'll leave up to the public. But we did a vlog in 2022 that did the whole Animal Kingdom Lodge. We stayed in the same resort in the same type of room, so nothing really changed.
I think we were literally in the same like section too, because I was like, this view looks very familiar. I think we were a floor or more. We were like a floor up from where we were in 2022, but I looked out and like, this view looks very familiar to me.
I don't know if we're in the same room, but
no. I meant the same section, like the same section of rooms.
There's a wing of.
You see how, like in this image right behind the giraffe, there's like a section of rooms. I think we were in the same.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's all modular.
Yes.
There's wings of certain resort properties, the Animal Kingdom Lodge being one of them, that are dedicated specifically to DVC. Like outside our room, there is a stamp on the door that says Disney Vacation Club.
Yeah.
And so there's a good chance that if you stayed in a Disney Vacation Club room and you got like a 1 in 15 chance of staying in the same room, I would say. But It's a good time. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is easily our favorite resort property in Florida.
Yeah.
There's other Disney resort properties that we like more, but it's hard not to go there when we have the
I
points to do
just
it.
love the Lion King vibes.
Yeah, and we did have a Savannah View
peeking
room.
my head out and saying hi to the animals.
The very tail end of our travel vlog, there is some footage from our room at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it's a cool room. But if you're interested in seeing like the whole Animal Kingdom Lodge, we do have like an actual resort tour, which I will plug in the travel vlog too, so you can see that a little bit later. But that's where we stayed for the whole week.
We did have kind of a unique experience, though.
We did.
So if any of you have ever seen like the magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus, or maybe you just have been to Animal Kingdom Lodge, you'll know that there are kind of hidden fences and stuff that keep the animals where they're supposed to be. So there's these fences that kind of, to me, look like a pointy fan.
I'm pulling up the slide to remember what the name of the animal is.
They kind of look a little bit like I think they're supposed to kind of mimic grass, but they keep the animal out of like this area that's meant for just cast members, not animals. But we can clearly see it. And I think they have a little bit of a charge or something that deters the animals from running across them.
Yeah.
And I had never, ever seen an animal on the wrong side of the fence. Well, that happened this time. An African addax, which is a species of antelope. They're kind of smaller, white-looking fur with kind of curly horns. They're very cute. One of them was definitely on the wrong side of the fence, like eating, and it ended up like hanging out underneath one of the modular like rooms.
Yeah.
You know, the people on that balcony couldn't even tell because the animal was under them.
If you go into the laundry facility at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, there's actually like a window in there that has like a fence over it. And if you peek through the fence, there's certain animals like the birds that can hop the fence easily. And generally speaking, they don't care too much about the birds because the birds are used to roaming and they always come back. The addax is definitely not supposed to, but like if someone had been in the laundry room, like where we were watching from, if someone had been in the laundry room and peeked through the window, there would have been like an addax right there, like, looking back at them.
I watched, I was like, is he gonna go back? What happened? I couldn't see like an obvious like broken piece of the fence or anything like that. So I waited. I kind of hemmed and hawed about it. I think we were about to go to dinner or something. And I finally just called the front desk. And I was like, I have an animal issue to report. And apparently, if you ever see something that you think might be kind of strange that has to do with an animal on Animal Kingdom Lodge, you do report it to the front desk. I wasn't sure who I reported it to, but I called the front desk. And I basically gave a report, and I could tell this cast member was typing things out. She took my name, our room number, and a description of what I thought the problem was, which was, this little animal is not supposed to be over here. I know because there's a fence, and when trucks and cast members do come through there, they always make sure to close it. So they took the report. He hung out there for a while because I think when we came back from dinner, he was still there, but he wasn't in, I don't think, any immediate danger. He just wasn't where he was supposed to be. And away
did you
from
name him?
I called him Willie because
he wanted to be free. So
eventually, I think the next morning, very early, we saw several trucks pull up and they started bringing out like
temporary fencing.
Big like chain link temporary fencing, and they set that up. And then someone worked on whatever portion of the fence. We figured maybe there was like a dead charge or something.
They're never gonna tell you. Not that anything they're doing isn't safe. Like it's effectively the Animal Kingdom Lodge is a zoo. It's a accredited. Like we learned this later at the Animal Kingdom when we did a special activity we'll talk about. The Animal Kingdom Lodge is an accredited facility where they have to own and operate like a zoo would. Right. So they have safety features and mechanisms in place to keep the animals safe from you and to keep you safe from the animals. There's never going to be a problem unless there's like a cavalcade of failures. So having said that, what we figured out from watching is that a portion of the electric fence seems to have died.
Yeah.
Like that was keeping the animal, and most of the animals aren't going to wander over because they've been trained not to by the mere presence of the electric fence. But
Willie got curious. Willie wanted the grass that was on the other side
and managed to get past the fence. And so they left it there for a while, knowing like he's not going to hurt anyone. He's out of the way. Finally, when they did come and deal with it, which was very early in the morning before most of the animals had made it to that part of the savannah again, all they had to do was take down that portion of fence, kill the electric flow, and then replace it with a temporary fence until they got the circuit up again.
And then later that day, we saw Willie back with the rest of the addicts, and it seemed like everything was fine. So, long story, still very long. That was an interesting kind of behind-the-scenes look, and I learned stuff about how you report an animal issue.
And I think we inadvertently answered this question.
We actually have a couple of kind of thoughts on animal.
We didn't do a formal zoo in Orlando, which you don't need to because you have Discovery Cove, Animal Kingdom, and the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that's a lot of animals.
I can't speak to any
and
other
SeaWorld too. Technically,
I can't speak to the quality or whatnot of any other zoos in Florida. I will just say that I don't know. Can't speak to them. You can also encounter plenty of Florida wildlife out and about too.
Yep.
Non-zoos. I mean, I'm sure our friend Mitch here in the chat can tell you all about seeing manatees and gators and snakes and all kinds of stuff because they do a lot of he and his wife do a lot of nature exploration.
I failed to greet Jamie and Ari. Welcome, you guys.
How could we fail to do that? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Ice cream. I can't remember eating any ice cream in particular. Can you? I feel like we must have.
Did we eat ice cream? I don't think I did.
I feel like we must have.
We had a lot of zebra domes.
We had a lot. Well,
they're not ice cream, honey.
They're not ice cream. No. They're white chocolate.
I mean, people swear by the Dole Whip in Disney. It's not really ice cream because I think it's vegan. But people really like that. People like the salt and straw in Disney Springs too.
I feel like if we had ice cream, it was probably a side with some other dessert that we had, or like a scoop on top of something. But or cooler sweet treat. There we go.
Well, at Animal Kingdom Lodge,
Animal Kingdom Lodge is the zebra domes,
which is kind of like
I look at all the love for zebra domes.
It's like a chocolate mousse wrapped around like I don't know what the actual thing is, but it's kind of like I don't think marzipan's the right word. What it tastes like is drizzled pudding. Yeah,
it's like pudding with like a hard shell around
dome.
it. Yeah.
And then like a soft little cookie bottom.
It is. I mean, we are hardcore addicted to zebra domes.
We had several.
Like they come in orders of 4, and I think we had like 3 orders of 4 over the course of our stay, which doesn't sound like a lot if you're there for a really long
them
time,
for dessert for dinner at Boma too.
Yeah, so. I mean, we were there for 7 days, so that's a lot of zebra domes. But they are addictive. I didn't even like white chocolate that much, but I like the white chocolate that comes as zebra dome. That was really good. So we haven't even touched on our first day, like our first full day yet. So we should probably jump.
Oh yeah, we could talk about Animal Kingdom.
We could definitely talk about Animal Kingdom.
We'll move on. Had to tell my story about Willie though.
Willie is a good story.
First day at the parks was Epcot.
Yes. So
and we have a vlog on this. It will be the second vlog of this series. So our day at Epcot, we got to do a lot of things that we've never done before, several of which were not available to us when we went the last time because it's been a while since we were at Epcot. We also haven't vlogged Epcot in like 2.5 years. I think our last Epcot vlog was with
2021. 3 years. Okay.
Didn't we vlog seeing Harmonious for the first time?
Yeah, that was 2021.
Oh my gosh, it was 2021.
That was tail end of 2021. So it hasn't been like the full 3 years, but it's coming up quick. So nice to return to Epcot in vlog form. We've been to Epcot since. It hasn't eluded us, but we haven't been since
Moana and a lot of walls coming down.
It's not my picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say
this is stock from the Disney website. I have good pictures.
Tim appropriates a lot.
I'll tell you what, you want to see my pictures? Here's my picture.
A little less good.
They're fun pictures though. So obviously we met up with our friend Frances from Dream Finding with Frances, who is in the chat. If you're not following her, please do check her out. She's awesome. But yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah.
She is the master of the virtual queue.
Yep.
So we started our day with Cosmic Rewind and basically never slowed down.
We had a fun ride on Cosmic where it had gone down for a little bit while we were in line.
Yeah.
But we were chill. We were in the air conditioning. It was great. So when we had a kind of altered experience on the ride a little bit where there was a bit of a delay before the launch, and it made for kind of an interesting reaction. That's all I'll say on it. It's in the vlog.
It's in the vlog. We got, so over the course of the day, we got on Cosmic twice. Now, as this is the only day across the entirety of our Disney park days that we had the advantage of being deluxe resort guests, which gives you extended evening hours. What that means is 2 hours after the park shuts to everyone else, we have added time where we can roam about the park.
Yep.
Now, they say, as part of those extended evening hours, that Cosmic Rewind is going to be accessible to you. That's all they say. They don't say anything else.
So we think we could just get in line.
So we
for
figured,
it.
yeah, like let's not worry about it during the day. We'll get on at night. Except not. I mean, we did get on at night, but we had to work for it because apparently what that means in real time is the stupid virtual queue again. You have at 6 p.m. a third opportunity to get in virtual queue for something that should have been off virtual queue 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it worked out, but I am glad that we had a virtual queue master with us at the beginning of the day. Virtual queue at 6 p.m. significantly less competitive because not everyone
and
who's
it's already less people anyway because it's just the
not everyone
people.
Who's staying at the deluxe resorts is going to Epcot that day, and not everyone who's doing that knows about the virtual queue, and not everyone who's doing that even wants to get on Cosmic Rewind. So the pool is much smaller. But in the morning, you need to be quick, and Francis is the fastest VQ in the West.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. We did get on. We didn't have Genie Plus this day.
No,
and Genie Plus is gone, by the way. So this would have been one of the last.
This is
days
one of the last.
It
was one of the last days of Genie Plus. We did a lot.
Yeah.
And Frances had to leave at like 2 or something, and we had done a lot.
Yeah.
Before she even left.
Yep. So we did Cosmic twice. That counts bonus evening hours, though.
Yeah.
We did explore Moana's for the very first time, if
Which
not
was
evident
fun.
from the picture on the bottom right. That is possibly my new favorite thing at
That's
Epcot.
what you said.
Like, I love Test Track, and I have loved Test Track, and I am, like, devastated that Test Track 2.0 is currently shuttered. I'm the only one, but that's okay. But Moana's is, like, a satisfactory trade for me, honestly. Like, that's a weird thing for me to say because I don't love getting wet, but I think I do love it. It felt to me like Alani on campus.
It
Like,
did feel kind of.
It felt so Alani to me.
It did feel Alani, and it was pretty at night too. We saw it again at night, so I would definitely say, like, if you're still at Epcot and you're able to walk through it when the sun's gone down, it's pretty at night too. It's a 14 and a half hour drive without any stops. We usually average around 16. I think we were a little longer because we ended up staying at Buc-ee's for like an hour because we were having the time of our lives.
Yep. Yeah, so the extended launch, I don't know if the extended launch is going to make it into the vlog because you can't really see it.
Yeah, it's very dark.
It's very, very dark. And literally all it is like the Guardians talking about how it's like a long black tunnel in space. But it was fun. It was a fun
My
little
reaction might make it in, though. Because that's when the lights start flashing.
Your reaction is already in the vlog. So.
Oh, my reaction is already in the vlog. I guess the vlog's done.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm catching up on old comments if you haven't.
Y'all were,
but I appreciate
y'all were busy in the comments while we were yapping.
We were yapping.
But yeah, we did
Hunter.
2 Cosmic. We walked through Moana's. We did Frozen. We did Finding Nemo. We did Living with the Land. We did Soarin'.
Mm-hmm.
We had lunch
we did Ratatouille.
We did Ratatouille.
We weren't planning to do Ratatouille, but we did
really
Ratatouille.
Cleaned up at Epcot as far as rides go. There's plenty of now. I will recognize, we didn't watch every movie that's available. We didn't do every pavilion.
And we never do.
But as far as like big attractions go, we did pretty much everything that was open except Mission Space.
And Spaceship Earth.
We're probably good on Spaceship Earth for a while. It really needs a refurb.
When they announced that they were going to refurb Spaceship Earth, I was like frantic. Like we have to go like one or two more times in case because we don't know what they're going to change. It could be completely different when it reopened, and then it didn't happen. Like the refurb didn't happen. But by then, I had already been on Spaceship Earth like 12 times. 12 is kind of enough. Like I love Spaceship Earth, but it is not necessary.
Unless if it was like
to do over
as it
over
often
again.
is, like walk on and we're trying to get out of the rain or just get away from the sun or something. We're not gonna probably prioritize.
I will
it.
say this was our first theme park day of the trip, and
Yeah.
if you're unfamiliar, Florida is experiencing record heat, as is most of the country.
Is it
right now,
record heat or is it just Florida?
No, it was record heat.
Oh, okay.
It's been record heat all over the country, but record heat for Florida this summer, and we were there in the midst of it. It did rain almost every day for a little bit, but before it rained, it was hot.
Yeah.
And then it was humid. And then on top of all of that, it would sometimes rain. So Epcot was, I think, a good test, like put us through the ringer of like how much we could take in the heat. Because it starts pretty even tempered and then it gets humid and then it gets harder and harder to push through. And then when the rain starts, like you have to make a call on whether or not you want to push through the day. But I think we cleaned house on Epcot. Like we did really, really well.
It was also
stay hydrated. That's the key.
First time walking around without. There were still some walls, but very few compared to like the last 4 years of walking through Epcot. So that was really nice. We enjoyed that. Yeah, we got to move on. We're still talking about it. We're still talking about day one.
I know. I do want to definitely throw that comment up. We do appreciate anyone who is loving the stuff we put out. If you're enjoying the live stream or the content on our channel, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up and a subscription. It really helps us grow. Okay, day 2.
We went to SeaWorld. Because we had 2 coaster credits we needed.
I was so stoked.
We, like
we do love SeaWorld. We put off going to SeaWorld for a long time, even though we were Platinum Pass holders, because we were just so accustomed to our Florida trips, our Disney and Universal. And you don't have too much time after that. But SeaWorld is awesome. And for Hunter, who I know you're going to Busch Gardens, SeaWorld owns Busch Gardens. And Busch Gardens is in the family of SeaWorld parks. So imagine Busch Gardens without the USA road trip theming, or the European road trip at Busch Gardens and USA Water Country. Imagine instead of that, the theme is like the ocean. The ocean and the Arctic Circle. So this is an incredible park. And now that we've been once, which we've been once for the first time, like 2023.
Yeah.
We haven't left it off our roster since. Like it's a really fun park.
We enjoy it.
So as you said, 2 new coaster credits since the last time we were there. We were stoked because Penguin Trek, which is a new family coaster, had just opened. Like it was really tight. Like I was worried that they were going to start pass holder previews like too late for us, but they started pass holder previews like 3 days before they were going to open for the actual ride. And Pipeline, which we'd not yet had a chance to ride, the last time
I
liked it better.
Oh yeah. The last time we were at SeaWorld, we were seeing Pipeline testing. Yeah. So it was going to open very soon, but we missed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've ever heard me talk about stand-up coasters, you know I hate them because I've been on Green Lantern at Six Flags and I hate it. But this was awesome.
I do want to throw out there for Jamie and Ari that Penguin Trek is actually an Intamin build, and it does have some rattle. And I found that to be a little disappointing.
We commented on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like great with the theme. We'll talk about that one next.
The theming is incredible, but
Pipeline, I think Pipeline is where it's at for their newer. Mako's still probably
there's
number
the Pipeline
one,
love, but we need to get Frances on Pipeline.
I don't know if
she loved Penguin Trek so much.
I don't know if she'll like Pipeline. So the first time we got on it, we weren't sure if we were going to get on again, so we were trying to film a POV that is very
all the nose,
very clean. And by clean means we try not to scream or hoot or holler in it so that the POV kind of speaks for itself. So we get on this ride, and the very first like airtime pop that you get, where you get shot off the ground and your feet are like, ah! If you've been on the ride, you know. There's this little like merp that comes out of my mouth because I could not hold it in. I was like, what? Like that. So if you hear that on the POV, that is me trying my best not to scream, but I really wanted to.
You don't really hear the merp. You hear the "I'm so sorry."
Well, at the end, I just went, "I'm so sorry," because I was trying so hard not to make any noise. But it's really fun, and for being probably a year old at this point, it was still very smooth.
Here's the thing.
It's B&M.
It's a B&M. Mako is also B&M, and Mako is it's such a toss-up right now between Mako and Pipeline.
I really do think that B&M, I don't know if it's the maintenance or it's just the builds, but I find I feel like B&Ms tend to age better than Intamins.
I have never been on a B&M that rattled.
That's not true. B&M floorless. Floorlesses?
Well.
Kraken?
Okay.
Kumba?
You make a good point. I rescind my never. I'm going to replace it with rarely.
I think they're less. I think floorless is just...
Floorlesses are not my favorite kind of coaster. Every company has a weak spot. Floorless is B&Ms. But in terms of
they say Painter Truck is B&M.
It's a B&M?
Is a B&M launch coaster?
Are you positive?
I don't know.
I feel like Chad would know, so I'm not going to push it. But I was pretty sure it was an Intamin.
No matter what it is, it's true. It has some rattle to it, and it opened like yesterday, so that's kind of crazy. It's not at the launch. It's at one of the what are they called? One of the a couple of banks when you're banking. It's and I don't know. I don't know if it was just the train we were on. I don't know if it's that kind of scenario, but it definitely rattled. It wasn't as bad as we just did. What's it called?
Son of a gun, it's B&M.
It's B&M.
That's
B&M.
That's really disappointing.
B&M, get it together. You're better than this.
After we just gave them so much street cred.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know who made it. I actually assumed someone else made it because not even into
the three big manufacturers in Florida are B&M, Vekoma, and Intamin.
You know, that's what I thought it was, Vekoma.
In rare cases, you get an RMC, but generally, most of the major theme parks will contract with those three manufacturers.
Disney likes Vekoma.
Yes, Disney and Vekoma are in a very, very interpersonal relationship. All right. Well, I'm disappointed, honestly, to hear that Penguin Trek is a B&M, because I think B&M is better than that. But I think that Penguin Trek is a good ride. I don't want to spend this time bashing Penguin Trek. I thought it was great, but it does have a little bit of rattle, and it's not as even in its pristine shape. I don't think it would be as smooth as Pipeline or Mako.
Pipeline was great.
Pipeline, perfect.
If all stand-up coasters were like that, I'd love them, but they're not. So.
Oh yeah, JVH was saying earlier that he finally made it to SeaWorld.
We love Mako.
Yeah. So it was JVH's vlog from his first visit to SeaWorld that had the 60th parade, and that's what got the bop in my head, and that's why I was like, I want to see that parade. So, spoiler alert, we did see the parade as well. That will be part of our vlog. And at the parade, we met
Penguin Trek.
There's Penguin Trek. We met our good friend Erica.
Yeah, this was totally organic run-in.
Yeah, unplanned. We've been mutuals on Instagram for a while. Erica, if you're unfamiliar, has the channel name Healthy Dose of Disney. She's on Instagram and TikTok that way, as well as YouTube. She does lifestyle vlogs right now. She does a lot of SeaWorld and parks content, but she used to be a contributing member of the Diz, the media company. So a lot of people will know her from that. She is wonderful. She's an absolutely amazing human being, and she is diving headfirst into the vlog world right now because she's got a little bit extra time. So if you have a thought about following theme parkers and Central Orlando or Central Florida vloggers, definitely check her out. She's amazing. Yep. And yeah, we did ride Penguin Trek.
Theming, excellent. It's a fun ride. It's a fun family coaster. It's just it always when a coaster is brand new and there's a little bit of herky jerk, I'm always like, what's going on here? But maybe it's just the G's. It just taking that. It's right. You see that it's bank
exactly
in
that,
the back corner
exactly
there.
That spot.
It's that spot right there. I
There's
don't
a
know.
point, we put out a POV already. There's a point where if you look at the POV, like it slows down after the second launch, and on that, it could be a train issue too. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
It could be that
will-
like 1 in 3 trains is not as firmly affixed to the tracks, and it just got a little bit of rattle. I don't know. But the ride we had, which was the only ride we had because it had a very long queue,
Yeah.
was not particularly smooth. Having said that,
Parts were not smooth.
Just to end on a high note with Penguin Trek, like I thought that the theming was top notch.
Yep.
I thought that the dark ride scene at the beginning was awesome.
Super fun.
And I love that they're not just leaving an empty husk there like they do Wild Arcade.
Yeah.
Like I want more of this, like just building into existing attractions. You also exit into the Penguin exhibit. So like it's an edutainment type ride.
And goodness gracious, was that Penguin exhibit a lifesaver that day, because I think
cold.
I tried to stay in there for as long as possible until like my nose was running, because
I was trying to get you out of there because I was
back
freezing.
outside. I was like, I don't want to go back outside, but it's so cold in here, but I don't want to go back outside. I think you will enjoy it. It's a family. I don't know how Jamie would like it, because I'm not sure how much.
Jamie did her first ride on Cosmic the other day.
Well, I say
the other day. It was quite some time ago, but it was.
We watched it in the vlog the other day.
We watched it in the vlog the other day. I don't think she liked it, but
okay.
But
it's
Penguin Trek.
Penguin Trek she might like.
It's got some kick. Listen to Frances when she says the launches are more intense than you're expecting for a family coaster, but does not go upside down, does not go backwards, does not have any crazy elements that would throw you for a loop. Like if you can handle Hagrid's, you can definitely handle this.
I would agree with that.
So,
Next day?
3, Discovery
Yay!
Cove!
Something new.
So, just to throw it out there, you will never, ever, ever see Discovery Cove looking like this. Unless you are there at 6 o'clock in the morning as a staff member. That's the only time I can, because once the park opens, it is flooded with people.
We did go on a Wednesday in July.
I would have thought Wednesday would be easier.
I don't think they oversell at Discovery Cove, but there are times where, like, this is the reef, which is the saltwater reef. It's cooler temperature. It's like 75 degrees or something, which when you're first stepping in, it feels so cold, but it actually is very refreshing when, it's 99 degrees outside.
Right.
And you can swim with fishy, stingrays, sand sharks.
So
lots of different wildlife.
It was actually Erica, because we went to SeaWorld the day before and we ran into Erica organically, as we said, and she gave us tips on Discovery Cove because she loves Discovery Cove. She said, like, if you're gonna do the reef, which is this, do it first, because there's 3 different pools in quotes, because they're massive. Like, they're not like little pools like resort pools. There's 3 different sources of water in the park. One of them is the reef, which is salt water, and as Katie said, like there's different types of wildlife that live in it, mostly rays, sand sharks, and
various fishies.
Various tropical fish.
A lot of fishies.
There's the dolphin pool, and then there's the freshwater pool, which is also your lazy river. Now, we didn't get to test the dolphin pool because you do have to pay an upcharge for that experience, and we didn't do it. But these 2 pools that we had access to all day, the reef, because of the type of wildlife that is in it, is much colder. Relative to the freshwater where we're looping around, like the freshwater pool isn't like warm, but it is heated. Like it is definitely warmer than the reef water pool. Yeah. And the reef water pool, like going from, as Katie kind of hinted at, going from walking like 95 degrees on land to suddenly going into, I don't know, maybe 50, 60. It wasn't that bad.
No,
but
it's not 60 degrees. The guy said it was 75 degrees.
He said it was 75 degrees?
Yes.
It felt like ice. It felt like stepping into an ice bath.
It was not that cold.
Oh my God. So yeah, that should tell you exactly.
No, if it was 50 or 60 degrees, everyone would be needing to wear the full wetsuit.
Going into heart attacks.
Yes, everyone would need the full wetsuit. That's why we could get away with just a little vestie. This was Discovery Cove was awesome. I don't think we need to go into too much deep because we did do a whole vlog on this.
It is, but the overview is, it is we call it a park because we don't know what else to call it. It is an all-inclusive day resort. It is a property wherein once you're on property, you do not need to leave or do anything or really put your credit card down for anything else for the rest of the day, because you do pay for your meals at the beginning of the day.
You get breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast
snacks
and lunch are all inclusive.
Drinks throughout. If the basic price gets you actually like beer and wine throughout the day too, we paid for a premium.
We got a premium drink package because we were platinum members, and
it was discounted.
Also, that is important to note. Platinum members at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and all that, this is a SeaWorld owned property, but it is not included in your pass. This is something you have to pay extra for. Having said that, you do get discounts as a platinum member, or I assume other tiers of membership with Busch and SeaWorld. They vary by time of year, by where you're coming from, Florida resident, not Florida resident, so on and so forth. The discounts that we got, and they were actually threw in the premium drink package as part of a bundle, so we got that kind of for free technically, wound up dragging the price down to about $400 for the two of us, which was really, really good for like what you get access to all day: wetsuits, sunscreen, unlimited food and beverage, for us, the periods that the buffets are open and whatnot.
But there's still, you could go get like pizza all day. There was like a pizza window.
Just
go get pizza.
There's a main restaurant that feeds you with the buffet line, and that food is actually good. Like going back to like Hunter's question about like where to find good food. Well, SeaWorld does not typically have good food. So like when we went to a SeaWorld and a Busch property, like, I'm sorry, outside of like food and wine season, we don't count on that food being extraordinary. We basically just count on it being survivable. Yeah. With Discovery Cove, like the breakfast, I would say it depends what you got. Some of it was mid. None of it was bad. Yeah. A lot of it was actually good. Yeah. So, and we'll cover all of that in our blog. Like we went over it in quite a lot of detail.
We had a great day here. It was some great, animal experiences and encounters, great pool and swimming, great day for the GoPros. It's a lot of underwater and pool footage.
Lots
for
of
those
waves,
who
sharks.
know Tim, may not be obvious, but he was literally up to like his nose in that reef. So that was crazy.
Not by choice. That is I will put one asterisk on that, and that is because Discovery Cove, as fun as it is, and you do not have to be a strong swimmer to have a good time at Discovery Cove, and I am not. What you do have to be is prepared for depth changes. Yeah. So the reef in particular, there's so many different, you'll see in the GoPro footage, like the shelf drops off so fast. It's not like a gradient, like a pool. Like they've done their best to manufacture an environment that seems natural to the fish and the wildlife living in it, which means that there are shelves of, 2-foot deep water that goes suddenly to 9-foot deep water. And that is well above my height. Yeah. So I'm, just like, this is fun. Okay. And now I'm literally out of my depth. But I did have a ton of fun. Yeah. Like, I'm not a big water person, particularly with regard to putting my head under or getting my head wet. So I didn't do a ton of that. You did a lot of that with the snorkeling. Snorkels are part of your day too.
I did it so much, I got water in my ear. And I don't know if my ear's been the same ever since.
Stuck for 3 days and maybe longer.
Yeah, I like this comment next up, Pluto's.
No. Over my dead body.
Pluto's bilge rat.
Mitch, you will have to kill me.
And then you can Weekend at Bernie's Tim on Pluto's.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a nice vlog.
It'll be funny.
Okay. So we do need to cover Magic Kingdom because there was a flop at the beginning of this day.
This was the first critical mistake of the trip.
So we had planned, when we set out on this journey, we had planned to do 3 Disney parks. 3, not 4. 3 Disney parks were going to be Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom. We were going to then do SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, and Aquatica. 3 parks that are less vlogged, 3 parks that are kind of oversaturated, being the Disney parks. Now, the Magic Kingdom would have been like a lot of new experience, and it's not like we didn't go, would have been a lot of new experiences to show you all that we were having, including Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the Country Bears, because both attractions had opened as of our visit. We did get to go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure twice. We did not get to vlog it.
Nope.
Want to know why? Because somebody left the GoPro sitting at home. And by home, I mean sitting
in the hotel room.
Animal Kingdom Lodge on the table. By the time we got in there, we were like some of the first to get into the park. So like if you're unfamiliar with like Disney's parking systems, they like have like the people out there waving you in, getting you in position. You leave that position, you're probably 20 or 30 rows back when you return. Like it is tough to get.
I did say, hey, we're 10 minutes down the road. Do you want to
go
back? We
weren't 10 minutes down the road though. We were probably about 15, 20 with.
I don't from.
Disney's big. You discount
but
how.
There's no
how,
traffic. It's not like it took like 20 some minutes to get to SeaWorld from Animal Kingdom. It didn't take 15,
It took like 40
minutes.
to get to SeaWorld, but that was a whole other thing. There's a lot of traffic on I-4.
Yeah.
That's the one drawback of driving. Anyway,
we got
there. We realized we were missing our primary shooter, and so we decided like this is the time. Like, are we gonna vlog or are we gonna enjoy the day? And we decided, you know what? We've been vlogging for 4 straight days. Let's just enjoy the day. So we do have another vlog to add just to the rotation because we skipped this one. But we did have a fun full day at Magic Kingdom, which we did not vlog at all. And we have tons of pictures, which we wouldn't otherwise have had because we don't usually stop for photos when we're doing vlogs. But we got a lot done.
We did. We
packed a lot in.
Characters. We rode
2
Tiana's
rides
twice.
on Tiana's because we paid for it with the Lightning Lane and we did the virtual queue and somehow got it.
Yep.
So I'm one above Francis on that one. I did get a virtual queue for Tiana.
We did.
She says DAK Lodge to Magic Kingdom is 15.
Well, it didn't feel like that long. I knew it wasn't like 20. I don't think it was that far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Every so often.
We're gonna enjoy the day.
It's okay. You're still the undisputed queen. I just have this one thing.
But
let me have this one thing.
I guess since we won't be able to say it in the vlog, we loved Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I don't want to. I guess if you're here,
most people. Well, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say most people have probably done it by now, but that's not true because like not everyone goes to Disney every year.
I wouldn't say that most people have done it. Some people may have seen the POVs by now.
A lot of Disney enthusiasts will already have experienced this attraction in person or virtually, is what I will say.
I will say, as spoiler-free as possible, the animatronics look fantastic. The exterior is beautiful. The interior is beautiful. Virtual. I think the one thing about the POVs is there are areas where it is darker, so you might not be able to see everything. But I think it's very pretty.
Of course, Francis has still not been on it.
Oh no!
She's had trouble getting that because it breaks down so often. It has been plagued with technical issues.
It had a delayed opening when we went. It did have a delayed opening, but then it seemed to be okay the rest of the day.
So the thing of it is, not unlike Rise of Resistance, and has there been anything newer than Rise of Resistance that was this sophisticated? Probably not. So not unlike Rise of Resistance, there's so many Hagrid's is what I was thinking of. Like there's so many moving parts to this attraction. So many animatronics, there are screens, and I was wary of the screens when I heard how many there were going to be, but they are used really well. They do not break the immersion for you. If anything, they help enhance the narrative. So there's a lot of moving parts that have to work in tandem to give you the narrative experience that they're trying to give you. It's not $1 Million Bunny kind of complicated, but it is prone to breakdown.
Yeah.
So we were really, really lucky that it worked all day. Now, having said that, bit of a trade-off. We did not get to do Country Bears because that was broken all day.
That was definitely broken all day.
That was operating for, it turns out Erica from Healthy Disney was in the park at the same time that we were, and she got Country Bears done like 10 minutes into her day. And after that point, it was broken all day. So all day. She did it right. We went to Big Thunder instead. We should have done it the other way around. But lessons learned. It was also like mad hot.
I think we did it right. I think we did it right. We headed to Big Thunder. Tiana's opened. We got in our boarding group. We did Tiana's. We went to lunch, and then we went back.
Yeah, we when we got so the reason we had it twice is because we woke up and we were like, we only have the one day, like we want to get on it. So we said like, I'll go for the virtual queue, you go for the lightning lane, and I booked the lightning lane, no problem. And you booked the lightning lane, right? One of us did lightning lane, one of us did virtual queue.
I think you did virtual queue and I did lightning
Yeah, I
lane
did
because it
virtual
opened
queue.
up and I was like, when do you want to go? And you're like, well, it has to be after lunch, so after 1, and it was like a 1:55, and we were like, got it.
Yep.
So
we both succeeded, which was unexpected. And then we were like, well, if all else fails, since Tiana's was operating at the time on the Genie Plus system and not on the individual lightning lane system, we were like, well, we have Genie Plus. We can always scrub that and rebook something else. So we just said, let's keep both. And we'll go on it. And if we don't want to go on it a second time, we'll scrub it and rebook something else. Well, we had a blast and we wanted to go on it a second time. So we got on it a second time. And honestly, like I am not a huge fan, as we've already talked about, of water attractions as a whole, but I loved this attraction. I thought I was going to have very mixed feelings because I did love Splash Mountain as it was, theming and all. But this is better.
Yeah.
I genuinely think this is better. That may be a hot take, but I really loved it.
Yeah.
We also got on a lot of our favorite attractions like the Haunted Mansion.
We hit Seven Doors Mine Train at a low point where it was only like a 25-minute wait. It was marked as a 45. We got in line. It was only like 25. Had a great ride on that.
That was awesome. We met a lot of characters. Ariel, Goofy pictured here, but we also met Donald. Donaldo and a couple others. Yeah.
And then we did the happily ever after dessert.
We did, and I don't have photos of that because we just wanted to enjoy that. But that was the conclusion, is that we did do a happily ever after dessert party because it had been so long since we saw that show. So we wanted to have like a carve out where we didn't have to elbow our way in, and worked out great.
Even though rain didn't happen, there was lightning, and we were curious, like, oh, is the lightning going to ruin the fireworks show? And it turns out, and locals probably know this,
literally went right around us.
There were times where like lightning would go off like the same time as a firework or right after, and it was actually really cool. But it turns out when there's lightning, I guess the fireworks really don't matter. The only thing is Tinkerbell doesn't fly, and we could live with that. So
I have mixed feelings about the Hatbox Ghost being in the Haunted Mansion.
I forgot he was in there.
Yeah, like we did see him. And
we were like, oh gosh, this is where he is.
Yeah. And
his placement is kind of weird.
His placement works for those who've seen the movie.
Yeah.
But for those who know the myth of the Hatbox Ghost from pre-movie, and that the Hatbox Ghost was originally a Disneyland thing. And they moved him from Disneyland. Well, they didn't move him, but they copied him over to the Magic Kingdom Haunted Mansion because he was popular in the movie. So, or it was like to drum up, it might have been before the movie. It was like to drum up hype for the movie because he's the primary antagonist of the new movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we saw him. It's cool.
He's cool.
It does feel like a bit of a knockoff.
It feels a bit like sloppy seconds.
But it's fine because we still have the OG at Disneyland, so he is not canon.
Mixed feelings about the podcast. It felt like one of those things. That was the D23 year where everything was blue sky and whatnot.
Yeah, and he was the only thing.
And we were just like
said.
throwing out stuff, and it was like, we're gonna bring you the Hatbox Ghost, and everyone goes insane. And it's like, I feel like they're just making fun of us. Like they're just like, we'll say, I'll give you my left shoe and you'll be excited about it.
There's a camp, and I know a lot of people in this camp, and it's fine if you are, but there is a camp of people who see something go to Disneyland and say, where is ours in Disney World? And they want it like 1-for-1 copied. And if we had that for every attraction, it would all be Galaxy's Edge. Like it would just be like, here's East Coast, here's West Coast. There's nothing special about either park, and there's no reason to visit both. And I feel like the reason that I love Disneyland is because it is unique, and the attractions that are there that are under the same name, like Big Thunder Mountain, it's better. Space Mountain, it's better. Like it's different. It's just different enough on each coast that it's worth going to each park.
Yeah.
But if you keep cloning things like Galaxy's Edge and the Hatbox Ghost, they lose some uniqueness.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my opinion. It's not everyone's, but Hatbox Ghost is in Haunted Mansion, whether we appreciate him as he should be appreciated or not.
It's funny that you bring that up because people mention all the time, why can't we get Haunted Mansion Holiday at Disney World, which will never happen.
And
that's one thing I'm pretty confident will never happen.
No.
And I'm also like, no, that's a Disneyland thing. It's always going to be a Disneyland thing. And I really hope you do get to Disneyland.
Yeah, I was
going
gonna say, I know it's a pain especially for us on the East Coast to get to Disneyland. It's on the West Coast, and it's a 6-hour flight under best conditions, and it's a lot of money. And California is very expensive, and I get all of that. But I cannot endorse Disneyland enough to anyone who's never been. Like, if someone has come up and told you like it's the same as Magic Kingdom but smaller, that is an outright lie, and you should smack that person. That is so not true. Like, it's so worth going out to Disneyland for everything that makes that park unique and special. And if you are a true Disney person and you walk into that park, you'll see the little touches that make it unique, like immediately. So highly, highly recommend, like, if you have a chance to go, or even if you need to like plan a trip and like budget for a long time, because I know we do, we're on the East Coast. It takes a while to ramp up for a Disneyland trip. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, it is. It would save you some money. I don't know if any other Haunted Mansion does it.
I don't know either.
Because Tokyo's Haunted Mansion is the special one.
Tokyo does have a Haunted Mansion. It's Paris that has Phantom Manor, and Hong Kong and Shanghai have variations that are.
Which one has the one with the little monkey?
That's Hong Kong.
Oh, that's Hong Kong.
I think it's either Hong Kong or Shanghai. It's the one of the Chinese parks.
Tokyo has
so they do have a Haunted Mansion Holiday. Okay.
Hong Kong Disneyland has the monkey. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see the little monkey.
Oh my god, we spent like 15 minutes talking about the Haunted Mansion. We do love the Haunted Mansion.
I love the Haunted Mansion. It's my favorite dark ride in Disneyland.
Okay. So, we did something else super cool for the first time this trip. This was at Disney's Animal Kingdom, but it's at a very specific location in Disney's Animal Kingdom that not everyone can get to. We did go in this trip on the Wild Africa
Trek.
And the vlog, I think, is a little bit chaotic because you're moving and grooving. Like, you're doing a lot, and you got guides, and you got a small group, and you're trying not to film other people if you're us. So, like, we'll see how it turns out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because there's a lot of good shots in there that there's too many for it to be bad. But the experience itself is so worth it.
Cool.
So worth it. I think that's the best value we've ever gotten out of a Disney.
It's our first time doing like a Disney tour, right? Like, we've never done like a Disney tour. Always wanted to do it, but this was the first one we've ever went in on. And I will say, if you're of the adventurous spirit and enjoy Animal Kingdom and learning a bit more about animals, it's totally worth it. I had a blast. I mean, that's like the biggest, cheesiest smile I could come up with. I was super excited to be hanging over a crocodile pit. This part was definitely the highlight. If you're not familiar, you do walk across like 2 suspension bridges that, if it looks like there's some panels missing, it's because there are.
Yeah, but they're themed. They're not like
it's theming.
It's not like broken. A rickety bridge that's going to fall apart. Like, and they do tell you too when our tour guides were the best, by the way.
Jordan and Dom
were just amazing all the way through. They knew everything there was to know about all the animals we saw. They also had like the wittiest, best lines and kept us laughing the whole time. If they are a reflection of other Disney tours, like, I think.
Did Frances have Dom too?
Oh, she had.
Yay! Dom was great.
Awesome. Wow, he's been doing it for a while then.
I guess.
Frances did the Wild Africa Trek way back when.
Was it way back when? I thought it was like 2 years ago. I don't know when.
Frances, how long ago was your tour?
Was it this year?
I feel like it was. Oh! He's my
what? Oh, that's cool.
Okay, it's
20
not,
so it wasn't,
not as long ago as I thought.
like
But
I thought it was. I knew it was March. I was like, I didn't think it was March like 2
I
years ago.
knew that Francis was the only other person in the chat who had done Wild Africa Trek before, but I did not know how recently it was. I thought it was a ways back. So Francis did tell us going in that like they will take photos for you. We did have a photo pass because we had Memory Maker like for our whole trip, but they include the photo pass in the price of the tour. So all you need to pay for, besides the trek itself, is your admission to Disney's Animal
Yeah, you do
Kingdom.
have to have admission.
You have to have admission for that day, and once you're in the park, like the tour covers everything else.
It is.
So it's a 3-hour.
3-hour
tour.
tour. Yeah, here it goes.
So,
but you do get a nice lunch. The food was delicious.
the food is
was
custom
delicious.
from Tiffin's, but you
Yeah.
can't get it at Tiffin's. It
Yeah.
is custom made for the trek.
Yeah.
The Pog juice, I was told, was the same as any other Pog juice, but I swear it tasted better. Like
Yeah.
it was like fresh squeezed on site or something. I don't know.
They definitely were making fun of you for that.
I know. I got the joke.
I think it
the
was
butt of the
because
joke.
it was hot and we had worked hard for it that it tasted so good.
Maybe,
But
but
your-
I genuinely feel
Your
like it was
lunch comes in like what we actually learned is a tiffin, which is like this big tin
Mhm.
kind of thing, and you open it up and it's got like 2 layers. Now we had the no food allergies, no dietary restrictions meal. So they asked us like 3 times that day if we had any food restrictions. So I assume if you're vegan or vegetarian or gluten-free or whatnot, they would put your meal together for you in a different way. But we had tasty shrimps. We had these
You
little.
didn't even like shrimp, and you tried one.
I wanted to try one because I wanted to try the spices, and it was good. You
Yeah.
ate the rest of mine though.
Yeah.
There was like this chicken salad wrap that was really good. There was
the brownie
the granola bar.
granola bar.
There was
sorry.
like a
But the
homemade
thing of it is,
granola bar.
It is legally a granola bar, but it tasted like a brownie.
It was
like
so
it was
so delightful.
it was so
And
good.
there was like an olive and like an olive salad, a cucumber salad. It's
There's
in
like
the
a little
blog.
pita too that came with like
Yes.
hummus.
Oh, hummus and pita.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a homemade hummus, garlic hummus. So that's what we ate. Because
This will all be in our vlog, by the way, just so you don't have to go by our word. Like we didn't have too much trouble filming. We were actually with a lovely older couple who had also like, they weren't vloggers, but they were familiar with vloggers because they had travel companions that were also vloggers. So they were like, oh, that's really cool. Like, you know,
he was into it.
they were into it.
He was carrying around a big old camera too, so he was there to.
Yeah. He was actually asking questions about our GoPros and whether or not he needed to upgrade.
They were
So,
nice.
anyway, it was super duper fun. Our guides were great. I, off the top of my head, couldn't tell you how much we paid because we did get a DVC discount as well. It wasn't cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
No Disney
It's
tour
definitely
cheap.
not $35, which is what Mitch said the behind the scenes tour was. $35.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I want to do that. That actually sounds fun.
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes at Living with the Land.
Yeah. This is much pricier,
Yeah.
but for all of that, I mean, you do get the private behind the scenes. Under optimal circumstances, you get to feed the hippos, but the hippos weren't planned.
weren't
with us that
planned,
day,
and that's fine.
okay. You do get to walk across the hippo container with the crocodiles. Container. Hippos out of containment.
Enclosure.
Enclosure. Container works still. You do get to do all of that adventuring. You get up close and personal with a lot of animals. You do get a private safari as well.
Yeah.
Like they take you out on the Kilimanjaro safari in a private vehicle that moves slower and stops more frequently.
And you
than
get the unofficial tour too, so you get to ask the real questions like what am I looking at that's fake right now? I won't spoil it.
What's real and what's Disney
real? And you get like, it's not a. We love the safari guides. Don't get me wrong, but we absolutely love the safari guides on Kilimanjaro. But it's a little less like jumbo, everyone.
Yeah.
It's
more.
cool.
It's more. It is more personal. Like you have a group that is Our group was probably like 12 or 13.
Yeah,
like it wasn't a big.
It wasn't
group,
a big group.
But I don't know how big the groups get. They can't be that much bigger because they do hit capacity. And they have different tours that go out over the course of the day. Ours was at the very,
that's
very
a sold
beginning.
out tour is like 12 people because they can't keep track of that. Like there's when we were lined up like in the hippo.
Well, and you can only send one person across each section of bridge at a time too.
I went
so
first.
like yes, if you take too long, like with 20 people, then you eat into the 3-hour tour. So anyway, private Kilimanjaro truck. We got lunch on the Boma, which is their little viewpoint, and the custom food where we got to look. And literally, like we were eating on the savannah as part of like the Kilimanjaro safari. It was the coolest thing ever.
So definitely, if you're an Animal Kingdom stan, I would say you got to do it at least once. I'm already talking about when I want to do it again, but budget-wise, it's definitely not an every time thing.
We came off the tour and Katie said, "I have terrible news. I want to do it again."
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that's your takeaway,
for us, it'll probably be like an every couple years thing, maybe. Yeah. We'll have to move on, but loved it. And we spent the rest of the day after our tour. I definitely recommend. I think they do tours throughout the day, but the earlier you can do the tour, I think doing the very first one of the day was really nice. Mm-hmm. It's a little cooler, and then you get to spend the rest of your day at Animal Kingdom. You don't have to like cut your day in half or whatever.
Yeah, because you've already paid for admission to the park.
Yeah.
So at that point, after you've done your tour, if you start your day with the Wild Africa Trek, then you've effectively done Kilimanjaro safaris
already. Right, you don't have to worry about doing the safari.
So at that point, you do the Pandora attractions, you do Dinosaur for as long as it's there, RIP.
We did do Dinosaur probably.
Expedition Everest, Kali River Rapids, you're done. Like there's not that much in Animal Kingdom. If you want to walk the trails and whatnot, you do have that time too. But I will say the Wild Africa Trek also covers the Gorilla Expedition.
Yeah,
trek.
we did go. Well, we got
Gorilla
to.
Falls.
We went through it, and then we got to go backstage from it. We didn't actually get to the gorillas.
That's true. We did not see the gorillas themselves, but we saw everything leading up to the gorillas. At which point, our guide said, "And if you thought gorillas would be part of this tour, think again. We're getting off here." And then they took us through like a secret back entrance.
Cast member only areas or
very, very
only
cool.
areas.
Anyway, fun day.
I love Animal Kingdom.
This was to be our second to last day in the parks.
Yep.
There was one great tragedy.
Very disappointing thing in Animal Kingdom.
I will let you tell it.
Oh, okay. So
because you have adjectives.
After our trek, we went over to Pandora because we had like a lightning lane or something for Flight of Passage, and our tradition typically is to do the Pandora rides or at least Flight of Passage, and then have a meal break at Satuli Canteen and get a bowl. So we're standing outside, we're putting in mobile orders, and we're like, "Where's the combo bowl?"
It's there,
and we can't find it, and we're like, "Why did these pictures?" I'm like, this sounds different. This doesn't sound right. And finally, we look it up, and our favorite like pit beef and barbecue chicken bowl is no longer there. And apparently,
it's there.
Okay.
It's just
that's
not
why I'm
what
saying
it was.
They replaced the pit beef with like a chimichurri beef.
This is what it used to look like, right?
Yeah.
But it used to be, and we found out why, like after we got home. Incidentally, I don't know if Jamie and Ari are still in the chat, but Keeping Up in Disney had published a vlog while we were on our trip, and we didn't circle back to it until after
later.
Our trip. And if we had, we would have seen how terrible. Oh yeah, they're there. We would have seen how tragic the outcome of this was.
And like Disney had like pictures of it on the, and we're like, this doesn't look right. And then we like looked it up on like Disney Food Blog, and apparently this change happened last July.
So
we didn't catch on.
Disney used to allow, and we're not clear on whether or not this was a Chapek decision or an Iger decision. Either way, it was a bad one. I'm sorry. But Disney used to allow certain restaurants, Satuli included, to outsource their supplies or their suppliers to different regions that fit their menus best. That gave us the wonderful thin slice, medium rare pit beef that came in the combo bowls. Mind you, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, like you don't care about any of this, but this is a personal thing for me. Like this was our favorite thing to eat at Disney World. I'm not even kidding. Like the combination bowls, like we crave. It was the only thing that when I leave Disney every year, like I crave it after I get home. Unfortunately, someone up top decided that we were no longer going to allow certain Disney restaurants to outsource. We're cutting costs.
Everyone's
and we're bringing
getting
everything,
the
same supplier for everything. So what we got now is like shredded chimichurri beef that's like, it's not well done, but it's certainly not rare, and it certainly doesn't taste rare, and it's very like, we didn't buy it.
We didn't buy it.
We looked at it and we saw it wasn't good.
Because we looked at it.
Jamie and Ari actually got it in their vlog, and I was like, I'm so glad we didn't get it, but also I'm still so sad.
Yeah, and we had read like reviews, and apparently it was not a well received change. And then Tim just looked at me and he's like, "You want to go to Nomad?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna."
And that's what we did.
And we went to Nomad.
And Nomad is still good.
Yeah, we like Nomad.
We liked Nomad. We loved Satuli, and now we love Nomad, and I don't know what we like.
Yeah, so I was like, I guess Satuli will be.
I don't know if we're gonna. The cheeseburger pods are just mid, y'all. The cheeseburger pods are literally like
they're a fun snack.
They're a fun snack, but they taste like Hamburger Helper. If you can buy a cheeseburger pod at home, it's just and in bigger portion and for less. I'm just so sad. But let this not diminish from the excitement of our Animal Kingdom Day. It was still a great day, but that was a blow because this is the first time in a long time that we've been completely unprepared and swept by a Disney change.
Yeah.
I don't know whose decision that was, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, and now I'm just petty enough about it that I'm never going to order that new bowl. Yeah. Although I know the tofu bowl is good, and maybe I'll try that one day.
You know what I'm never going to do? I'm never going to watch Avatar 2 because that's the reason that all the changes were made to the Satuli menu. Supplier was just a cover.
I don't know. I don't know. Nomad was good though. We enjoyed Nomad.
All right. So for our final park day, we went to Aquatica. No. Or did we?
No.
Or did we?
Mistakes were made, people.
Not our mistakes.
No, our mistake.
Our mistake was pre-purchasing for added extras to help with the crowd level that we didn't even get to use.
Mistake was thinking we could get into a water park on a Saturday in July.
Get into should not be an issue.
It shouldn't.
Getting into, let me be very, very clear about this. Getting into a park on a Saturday in July should be a given. If you have a ticket, you should be able to go. Yeah. The problem that we came up with, so we drove first of all, SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, Aquatica, all in the same stretch of like a couple of blocks, right? Because they're all owned by the same property. Of those three, Aquatica is the one that has the flawed infrastructure where you can't even get into the parking lot if one road is blocked off. And as it happens, there was already a huge backup because they were doing construction at the SeaWorld exit. So for all three of these parks, we had to sit in traffic. But for Aquatica, we literally could not move.
No,
we could not get into.
We were like 2 blocks away from the entrance, and we were sitting for like 45 minutes.
For at least 45 minutes. Like we were sitting in our bathing suits. It's like 12 noon, and we're like, we're gonna lose the whole day sitting here.
Well, I was like, I don't think, because every time it's one of those things where like the light would change and you would literally move like 2 inches in your car.
Yeah, but
you weren't moving.
Where we gave up was where cars started cutting around other cars, and blocking and clogging and gridlocking the intersection.
Right. So we're leaving an employee entrance open because that's what you're supposed to do, but cars started pulling around us and blocking the whole intersection.
And other cars. Like it's not just us. Like other cars were like trying to like weave. We had a situation where there were like 6 cars in 6 different directions. You
pulling in front of us is going to get you in the parking lot so much faster now.
And it didn't, because that truck was still sitting there when we abandoned ship.
So
we found it out. So like as we're sitting there
I'm thinking
no
to myself,
less than 45 minutes.
I'm thinking to myself, we're not going to get into this park till after 2 o'clock, and it's only open until 7, and we don't know where we're going. We've never been here before. This is going to be a whole wasted day.
And all this time, SeaWorld and Aquatica are basically right across the street from each other. We're watching Mako deploy at SeaWorld, like going by us, and people are having so much fun. And we're like, listen, we didn't waste any money on a pass because Aquatica is part of our pass, our Platinum Pass. We were like, if I pull a U-turn... Yeah, we wasted a lot of money on Quick Queue, but that was a mistake we'll not make again. So we decided at the last second, we're like, you know what? Let's pull a U-turn. Let's get out. We're never getting in here. Let's just get out of here and go park at SeaWorld. And so we turned around and we were going to go park at SeaWorld. And we were literally going to walk into SeaWorld, change out of our swimsuits, and be at SeaWorld for the day. That was going to be like our second day at SeaWorld. And we were fine with that. But on the way to SeaWorld, literally 2 blocks.
Like within like 30 seconds.
Within like 30 seconds of turning around, we're like, wait.
No, it was you. You like slammed your hand on the steering wheel and you're like, we have an unused Hollywood Studios day.
We did, yeah. So we bought tickets to all 4 Disney parks as part of a 4-park, 4-day package. We were planning not to go to Hollywood Studios because we were like, everything in Hollywood Studios.
Because it was such a good deal that it was even per park.
If you dropped a park from the deal, you still got more than your money's worth out of the 3 parks we went to. So we were like, you know what? Who cares? We're just not going to do Hollywood Studios. But at that moment, we were like, you know, the crowds are a problem here. They're not going to be a problem at Hollywood Studios because that's 25 minutes from here. Like, at least. So we went all the way back.
We had gone all the way out of the Disney bubble. We had checked out of our room that morning.
We went to McDonald's near the Animal Kingdom, changed our clothes, and then we got back on Disney, like the Disney roadways, and went to Hollywood Studios. And it really wasn't that crowded at Hollywood Studios.
No.
We did do Genie Plus because this was our last day to do Genie Plus. It's multi-pass now if you're not caught up. But that was like the last day, the last time we could use Genie Plus. And Hollywood Studios has a lot of rides. So we were like, you know what, let's make sure we do Tower of Terror.
And we did.
We did Tower of Terror twice. We also did Rise of Resistance
twice.
Because Rise of Resistance had opened a single rider queue. And as it happened, we got on single rider.
Yep. They had started beta testing a single rider option like the day before.
Yep.
So
a couple days before, because Jackie had a vlog out. That's how we learned about
but it was very, very recent. So you didn't want to take up on it at first. You were like, no, I don't know if I want to do that. And I'm like, well, you know what? We're vlogging it.
Yeah.
Let's beta test it ourselves. Let's see what happens. And we were able to. The first time we did the single rider. If you've seen anyone's vlogs with this, it is a altered experience.
Yes, you skip the 2 pre-shows.
Yeah.
And by pre-shows, we're including the simulator portion.
You miss Ray and Beck.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
If you know, you know.
You miss Ray and Beck.
To the interior of
you go to the
First Order starship.
Yeah.
So like you're in the loading bay with all the stormtroopers.
So, and then you get put in that.
But you're in the you go straight to the loading bay. Yeah. Like when you walk up on single, and everyone's experience may be different. I don't know how long this is going to last, but for us walking up on single rider, like they let us on immediately.
Yeah, it was very quick.
And we were in the loading bay immediately.
Yeah. They did walk us through like immediately. I was gonna say, then we got in the regular like kind of line that you just wait to get sorted into your
The second time it took a little bit longer because they were trying to. So single rider, for those who are unfamiliar, they're going to pair you as a single rider. They're going to split you up from your group. If everyone gets on the single rider line, you're all going to be broken up, supposedly. They're going to try to plug holes where you have a group of like 5 or 7 or whatever. Like they're going to try to hit max capacity on every ride vehicle by using the single riders one at a time to plug those holes. So it could move really, really fast. It could move really, really slow. It depends on who's in what group hitting that point in the queue. For us, there was beginning to get a backup both times we got in the single rider queue. We were prepared to split up. There was a bit of a backup in the single rider queue because not enough people were coming through in groups of odd numbers. So they just loaded the entire single rider queue into one vehicle twice.
Yeah.
So that was awesome because the first time we waited less than 20 minutes to get in, on the ride, through the ride, and off the ride. The second time, little bit longer because they did hold to try and use us to plug, but by the time we actually got to the front, they were like, all right, just come on. There's too many of you. So that was fantastic. It is
a bit of a gamble, but our takeaway from that was if you've been on it a million times and you just want to get to the ride anyway, you don't care about the pre-shows, try it out. Give it a shot.
A couple things that we did for the first time this visit too that were not Star Wars related, where we met characters like Olaf, for the first time. We also saw the Frozen show for the first time.
We did see the Frozen show.
It's honestly between.
It's so funny. We had done our trip, and then we watched Jamie and Ari's videos that were posted during our trip after, and we're like, oh yeah, they also enjoyed the first show.
Well, they usually do. I know Jamie and Ari from Keeping Them in Disney in the chat. They do a lot of the shows, and so does Laura and Rachel, who we also follow.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, it's not just those vloggers specifically, but like a lot of people think of Hollywood Studio not as the Star Wars park, but as the show park, because there's a lot of live entertainment in this park. There's a lot of shows that we've still never seen, like the Indiana Jones and the Beauty and the Beast, but the one that we kept seeing again and again, we're like, that's kind of like cool how they improvise and whatnot. Exactly. The Royal Historians. Like the Frozen show is a little bit different every time. And it's also fun. Like it's a musical, it's a sing-along show. It's mostly geared towards kids, but there's a lot of adult humor tucked in there if you know where to look for it. So I thought that was, first of all, a great way to get out of the heat, and also like really fun.
Yeah.
We did almost every ride at Hollywood Studios between Genie Plus and just waiting out standard queues here and there. We missed Rock and Roller Coaster and we missed Slinky Dog. Those are the two.
We didn't do Toy Story Mania either.
Oh, we missed Toy Story Mania. Yeah, I don't care about Toy Story Mania. I know that's sacrilege in the Disney community, but
you can welcome to care about Toy Story Mania, we just don't.
Yeah. So we missed those three, but we did Tower of Terror twice, Rise of Resistance twice, and everything else once, including Muppet Vision.
Always Muppet Vision.
I know Francis has respect for Muppet Vision.
A little bit, just a little.
So that was a full fun day that we did not intend to have.
Yeah.
And one other thing that we did for the very first time, I do not have a slide for it.
Oh, we watched Fantasmic
for the very first time. We've seen the Disneyland
Hollywood Studios. Yeah,
we've never seen the Hollywood.
We were
Studios
some of the last people to see the actual Maleficent animatronic puppet at Disneyland.
Yep, the full body.
Yeah.
Because Maleficent at the Walt Disney World location,
as we learned, is different.
I was wondering if Francis was still in. I knew she would tune in when we said Muppets.
Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios is fun.
It's different.
It's different.
It's definitely a different vibe.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to see. We shot little pieces, highlights that we'll put in our vlog when we get there, because we did vlog all this day. So this is our extra bonus vlog to make up for the Magic Kingdom vlog we dropped.
I liked the Moana section.
Yeah,
that's not
Moana and Elsa's Show Yourself.
Show Yourself.
Segment.
Well, Show Yourself is an underrated song, people. Everyone talks about Into the Unknown.
Show Yourself is
it.
I think, and I could spend a whole live stream just on this, by the way. I think that Show Yourself was intended to be the show-stopping number of Frozen 2, and people just latched on to Into the Unknown because it was the first song.
Yeah.
I mean, not the first song, but it was the first Elsa song. It was the first song that captivated everyone.
As far as it had the pacing of Let It Go, which they all thought that was where you were supposed to like. You know what I mean? Like Let It Go comes in pretty early.
But Show Yourself is. It's a hero's song. Yeah. Into the Unknown is more of a mystery, like it's the rise to the challenge type song. Anyway, Show Yourself was a good segment of Fantasmic. Yeah. We really enjoyed seeing it for the first time. We did have a full fun day at Hollywood Studios that, again, we were not intending to have at all. So, aha!
Thanks, Ari.
Agree. Hard agree. Also, just in case we missed Francis.
These live streams keep me up like 45 minutes past where I want to be too. So, good night, Francis.
We are wrapping up. I think this is the last thing we wanted to cover anyway, because the next thing on my list here is the creators.
We will have vlogs for almost everything except Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, we will not have a vlog from. We will also have POVs from some of the ride experiences we did for the first time. Penguin Trek is already out, although I apparently have to change the description because I was totally convinced it was an Intamin. And apparently,
way to do your homework.
I did my homework. I just did it wrong.
You copied off of someone else's homework and it was wrong.
Well, you have to change it just a little so no one thinks you copied.
Maybe that's what you were like.
Anyway,
change it to an Indian.
No one will know. We have POVs coming. We've got vlogs coming. Our first vlog will be the travel vlog, and that will be out this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If anyone is interested in checking that one out, we would really appreciate getting your thoughts, because we've never done a travel vlog before. Well, a road trip. Nothing like that before. So excited to see how that one fares. After that, we have Epcot, SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, Wild Africa Trek, and then Disney's Hollywood Studios in rapid succession. So we cover everything except the Magic Kingdom, and obviously Aquatica is no longer on the list. But one day we will
we'll
make
get
it there. We were talking too about doing like a. This is gonna drive Mitch up a wall. We were talking about doing a off-season Orlando water park trip someday. Yeah. Specifically because we've never been to Volcano Bay. We've now still never been to Aquatica. We've never been to either of the
Blizzard
Disney
Beach
parks,
or Typhoon Lagoon,
which stagger, visitation and whatnot. Anyway, so that would be something we could look forward to doing at some point. Don't know if it's going to happen next year. Certainly not going to happen this year, but it is on the to-do. Anyway, we did have a full fun trip, and we are excited to share everything about this trip with you guys in the vlogs. But we thank you all for... You are welcome, Mitch. You are welcome to join us.
And then maybe we could go kayaking.
You and Katie can go kayaking.
Woohoo!
Y'all are doing Bluto without me. I will only do Bluto if I'm paid an exorbitant amount of money. That's my threshold. And I'm not changing that tune because I've gone too far without changing the tune. It's too late now. All right. So for our creator spotlight this week, all of these are friends that we have plugged before, but each of these are friends that we had the pleasure of seeing during our visit, some totally coincidentally.
Yes.
And at least one was at least halfway planned. But all great people. Healthy Dose of Disney is Erica, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I know she is the same handle on all four. She is really working on building out her YouTube presence. She does have a pretty significant following on Instagram, but if you want to really give her a little bit of a boost, I think you should definitely check out her YouTube videos because they're fun. Dream Finding with Francis is in the chat with us, and she is lovely, our friend Francis. All of these are Orlando locals, by the way. So if you're interested in Orlando content, you need not go far. Francis has a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and a website. She also has a sort of business building up other creators. Well, I don't want to speak for her if she wants to say anything for herself, but she helped us build a media kit for our brand, and I'm sure she can do the same for you if you're building a brand. So if you're interested in building up content or learning how to navigate social media or post regularly.
She was a guest on our live stream not that long ago, so if you want to see more
you
of
can
her
see very
advice,
much about what she can do,
answer some questions, check that out if you got the time.
Former live streams. I will try to link that in the description here if I think about going back and doing it. But definitely check out Francis and all her content. She is great. It's a business-ish.
Well, I thought Tim was insulting with it's what a sort of business. A side business.
I don't want to speak. I want to let her speak for herself.
Okay.
She has a concept of what her brand is and what she wants to do with it, and I don't have a quite handle on the verbiage that she wants to use yet. So I will let you speak for yourself, Francis. Definitely check her out. That's the bottom line. Everyone check out Francis. If you need help with social media or building a brand, she's the person to go to as well. Soaring Over the Magic is our friend Kim, who we did not name drop in this presentation because Kim was a kind of a last minute, like we made it work by pure random chance.
Something else we, I guess, forgot to mention in this live. We did pop over to Disney Springs.
Disney Springs was a totally unvlogged, totally impromptu.
The Dreams That Soar drone show.
Not exclusively for the
No, well,
show,
that's one of the reasons I wanted to go.
Yeah. So we did see that show from a perhaps not the best vantage point, but we did see it. It was cool. And we did arrange to meet with Kim because she was just getting off work around that same time.
And also had wanted
lovely
to
meal at
check out
Raglan
the
Road.
Drone show.
Yep. So that was fun.
And we tried the summer house cookies. They were good.
Soaring Over the Magic is her primary handle, and she is really pushing to build her brand out on Instagram. She's not doing much YouTube anymore, but she does have a channel, and if you're interested in checking out her old content library, I'm sure she would appreciate that. So definitely check her out on Instagram. If you're a YouTube person, go follow on YouTube too. That goes for pretty much everyone on this list. They're all great people. We love each and every one of them, and we were so glad to be able to meet with them. Yep, Mitch, you would be on the list, but you had to. I'm kidding. We tried to meet with more friends, but being that this trip was so spontaneous, obviously we were the problem children and we couldn't meet with everyone. So apologies to anyone we didn't get to see on this trip. We would have been able to see Mitch and Devin, our friends, over at our Florida Passport, but something came up, which is totally okay. So,
as things do.
As things do. Our next live stream will be on August 13th. And if this trip has taught me anything, it's that I should no longer be announcing plans, because plans change on a dime and everyone's disappointed. So no one more so than me.
We're cutting out announcing what the topic is.
From this point forward, we're not going to talk about the topic beforehand. We're just going to promise that we'll be on and we'll have a plan, but it will be a very soft plan. So you guys can trust. We got 2 more. I will say this. We got 2 more live streams before we take our annual hiatus, because spooky season is going to be crazy and I need all the time I can get to edit. So we won't be doing live streams September or October. 2 live streams to go. We're every other Tuesday until then, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, usually, unless something goes horribly, terribly wrong. We will be with you again on August 13th. And until then, we appreciate everyone tuning in and sitting with us for almost 2 hours. I know we talk a lot, but we have a lot of fun talking with you guys. So we appreciate it.
Thanks for your engagement, your comments, your questions.
All of that.
That's true.
All of that. There's nothing that keeps you all in Florida. You can come visit us anytime.
There's no reason to stay there.
Yes. All of the love to all of you. We appreciate you all so much. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been Tim.
I'm Katie.
And every night
is a new adventure.
And we will see you again soon. Bye.